Hey, Talksteer Luke here, and welcome back to some classic Talksteer content. Now that my workspace is finally in a usable state, we are getting started on the Alfa 159, and today we are going to be doing an interior detail of this car. But be sure to check back every Friday because we are going to be doing a classic Talksteer related video applied to one of my cars. So next week, hopefully we're going to have an exterior detail on this, followed by the Only Van series, and then who knows, we've got the 205 GTI here, as well as more work coming up on my Volvo. So all that's to come up on the channel. But also on Mondays we've got the how-to videos, and Wednesdays we also have review videos of the products. Lots of content coming your way, guys, so be sure to check them out on those individual days. Without further ado, let's get into this and start off with the interior on this beautiful Alfa 159. Inside the car, it's actually all pretty good up here still. There's no bad smells, there's nothing really disgusting, it's just a bit dirty at the moment. I wouldn't say dirt, it's just foot traffic dirt, grass, soil, dust, that kind of thing. Thankfully, it's got the factory fitted floor mats all around, which actually are still in really good condition, and that's done a really good job of protecting the carpets beneath it, so we don't need to wet vac them. I'm just going to wet vac the floor mats so I can leave these to dry off in the house. Now, the weather at the moment is not that warm, so introducing a wet vac to the interior of the car would probably cause more problems than it would solve, so I'm not going to go down that route. In terms of the leather, it's all in pretty good condition. We have got the Alfa Romeo badges on the back which have faded. They're meant to be a vibrant red, it's like a blood red, and they have gone pink over the years, so we're also going to be colouring them in. We're also going to be colouring in some of the white stitching as well. We're going to make them red, give a bit of splash of colour to the car. But overall, this car's going to clean up pretty well, and I think it's going to be a very satisfying result by the time it's finished. So let's get started with the floor mats. We'll get these cleaned off, get these wet and let them dry off whilst we're cleaning the rest of the car. When it comes to cleaning the mats, I've changed my method to how I used to do it. So in this video, you're going to see me actually stick the all-purpose cleaner into a pump sprayer and then actually use the wet extractor later on. And the reason I do this is I found it gives me more control over which products I introduce to the mats at different stages. So within the Henry wash, there is only warm water in the extractor tank. And what this allows me to do is introduce more products using the foam sprayer if needed. And then if I just need to apply just warm water to the mats, I can do that as well, so I don't actually oversaturate the mats with too much product. And I found the results from this, especially combined with the drill brush, was very good. Throughout this clean, I was also testing out a lot of products for my upcoming team review and collaboration, which will be released next Wednesday. One of the products was this air duster, which I had to use to kind of clean out the air vents. It's like there was a compressed air spray you get, but it's electric powered, so it's rechargeable, and
It's actually pretty damn powerful, so if you want to see more of that stuff, keep an eye out on the channel for Wednesday, where the review's coming up, and then obviously next Friday we're also going to be doing an exterior clean of the Alfa as well. To me, the most interesting part of this entire detail, and this is where I tried some new things, was with the steering wheel. As you can see, it's a bit more worn than the rest of the car. It's shiny, it's got some wear to it, and I think there's quite a bit we can do to get this wheel back to looking how it should be. First thing is to give a really good clean, get rid of that shininess, because typically that is just oil from fingerprints from your hands. So to use that, I'm going to use a magic eraser or a melamine sponge. These are slightly abrasive, and the idea is because it's abrasive, it kind of just is able to cut through that dirt that's on there. So I'm using a medium all-purpose cleaner on this. It's not going to do any harm to the leather if you do it once in a while, so I wouldn't recommend doing it to every single clean, but once every couple of years or maybe once every year, it's absolutely fine. It's not going to do the leather any harm. Once that was dried off, the wheel was a lot more matte, which allowed us then to start working on the wheel. So first thing was to get rid of that pink stitching which had been UV damaged. So using Edding fabric marker to just colour them in. It was really super simple, and you can see the difference is quite intense really. So there's a video in the pop-up banner if you want to check that out where I talk about it more. The next thing though was to actually take care of the worn leather, and I needed to dye that leather to a dark colour again. So I took some 400 grit sandpaper and actually smoothed the wheel down. I kind of just went up to where the stitching ended, so I just wanted to do this kind of one panel at the bottom and the panel at the top. As you can see, it's kind of scary when you do it. You're going to see all the colour come out the leather, it's going to be super scratched and kind of not for the faint-hearted. But this is again using some leather dye that I got off Temu from a while ago. I featured it in the last review I did with them, and it's actually pretty good. It does a pretty good job of just applying itself and not coming off. So I'm just applying it to a melamine sponge, which probably isn't the best thing to do, but it still gets a decent result. And as you can see, when it's done, the results look much better. So I carried on to do the top of the wheel as well, which you can see in this shot. I also did it to the sides where the perforated leather is. Where it was perforated, I didn't sand that down and just dabbed the dye on because it wasn't as worn there, so I only wanted a little bit of dye going on. But when it dried, because obviously it's wet at the moment, it looks a little bit darker, it was quite similar to the original colour, and I was very pleased with the results. Finally, we've got the Alfa badge in the middle, and I used a Edding paint marker this time. It's different to the fabric one, it's actual paint. And I did a few passes with this, and as you can see, the Alfa badge is so much nicer as well. And again, there's another link in the pop-out banner if you want to check out the video where I show you about these markers. And then moving on to the seats, I kind of just applied the same principles to them with the markers. So the back of the seats where the Alfa badges are had also been kind of UV dyed, so rather than being pink, we want them to be red. And again, super simple fix, looks so much nicer, and it's not going to come off on your clothes because it's designed for fabrics. But I didn't stop there. I'm kind of not a fan of just dark interiors with silver. I like a bit of red in there if it's a dark interior, so I kind of just went on with the same theme that was going on with the dials and the steering wheel, and coloured a lot of the stitching in with this paint marker. As you can see, you can just wipe it off here, and when it's finished, it kind of looks factory specs really. It has really good result for such little money, and I do like having this extra red on the seat. I think it just looks a lot more warmer. I know not everyone's going to like the taste, but for me, it was a good improvement for pretty much next to nothing.
well, there we go. There's the detail on the interior of the Alfa 159, and I think this is one of the most beautiful interiors ever made in a car. I just absolutely adore the way it looks. Now, I know some of the stuff I've done is tacky. I mean, I know some people are going to hate this, and it's probably going to come off, but it was just a bit of fun. But I had a lot of fun just adding a few bits into this and kind of making it my own. Same with like the stitching on the seats, but I think that actually turned out really nicely. I like them. As well as just other stuff like I'm super satisfied with how the steering wheel turned out. That's also really nice. So it's feeling a lot fresher in here. It's feeling more looked after, and it's just a nice place to be again. So in the next video, I think I'm going to be doing a exterior detail on this car, because I think the transformation on that's going to be even more extreme, because this car's going to look so nice when it's polished up. So if you want to check that out, probably going to land next Friday. But also check out a lot of the stuff I did with Temu, a lot of the products I used, coming up next Wednesday on the channel as well, if you want to see the reviews of those products. So until then, thank you all for watching, see you soon, and as always, take care.